If you ask Australians what they think of new suburbs, you'll usually hear the same thing. They're soulless. They all look the same. Nobody actually wants to live there. I've heard it for years, and I wanted to see if it's actually true. So I decided to visit one of the newest suburbs in my area and compare it to an existing older one to answer one simple question. Are these new suburbs really as bad as everyone says? So I headed out to one of the nearby new suburbs just to check out the vibe. And almost immediately after arriving, I saw something a little bit ironic. This little townhouse development is called Symmetry. Pretty ironic considering one of the main critiques of new suburbs is that all the houses look the same. But to be honest, they actually look okay.
You know, they might look the same, but they still look pretty nice. I mean, to me, the houses look fairly nice, like pretty aesthetically pleasing. They look clean. They're probably very energy efficient.
And after walking around for a while, the allegations that everything looks the same were starting to seem true, honestly. Although things generally look similar, I actually don't mind it. It's quite cozy looking. It reminds me a little bit of terrace houses.
I mean, yeah, they're packed in pretty close, but I guess that's the nature of townhouses in general.
Another popular critique of new suburbs is they don't really have any trees. That's not really true. I mean, you can tell they've made an effort to plant some. It's just that they're a little bit too young to be fully mature yet. I decided to head to the local shops to check out the vibe there. This suburb's probably 10 years old or so it is a bit weird that half of the local shops is completely empty. So I had a chat with one of the local workers to get their opinion on the area. So I noticed like the shops are pretty empty here.
Yeah, this is the first shop in the entire area. Area is good, community is good.
A lot of people say the houses are too close together. Do you feel that way? Or?
It's dependent. Like townhouse, I've seen like very close. The houses are. We need a safety in this area because we have seen lots of like.
So has this shop been broken into?
This shop is particularly six
times.
or 8 times.
Now, shops being broken into seems to be a little bit of a recurring theme in Canberra. But anyway, she basically said that, yeah, the townhouses are pretty close together, but the houses aren't too bad. It really depends on what kind of place you live in. I decided I'm going to go check out the actual detached houses and see what they feel like.
There are some seriously nice looking houses here.
Say what you want, but to me these houses look pretty nice. But yes, there kind of was a lack of established trees around here, but that's really to be expected with a suburb that's 10 years old or less. They do take time to grow, so...
Now, as you just saw, they really do have some nice houses here. And one of the criticisms of new suburbs is the blocks of land are really, really small. And to me, the blocks actually seemed decently sized. They're definitely smaller than established suburbs, but they're probably like still 500, 600 square meters.
I thought I should check out the local amenities. I've heard the park here is like one of the best in the whole city. And it actually does look pretty impressive.
This is like heaven for kids.
I don't think I've seen a park in Canberra that really has the same amount of stuff as here.
Like you really wouldn't get this in an older suburb.
Very unique looking. They even had these little trampoline looking things, but I don't think they'd hold my weight.
I think that's one thing that people don't really think about. The playgrounds, from what I've seen, are just so much better than the older suburbs.
Now, I'm going to show you a playground in a nearby suburb so you can see how stark the difference really is. I mean, look at this. It's just a little bit depressing, don't you think? It's really no surprise that no kids really come here.
Like, what a contrast to the other one.
Alright, to get a fair comparison, let's have a look around the local streets to see how they compare to the new suburbs. Now straight off the bat, you can see it's quite green here in comparison. It's quite a bit more leafy, there's way more tree cover. And yeah, the houses are a little bit more spread out, but you'll notice there's no footpath, which is a little bit of an inconvenience. The houses generally vary in appearance. Some of them are pretty nice, some of them are quite average looking. they're definitely way smaller than the ones in the new suburbs. And the walking paths are just not as well maintained. It's a little bit of cracking. And you know what? I walked around a bit in a different area and I found this. So you can actually find these so-called cookie cutter houses in established suburbs. So one thing that really stood out is the greenery. But another thing I noticed was the graffiti. That's something that was just not present in the new suburbs. And Canberra really has some dodgy looking underpasses. You won't find them in the new suburbs though. Walking through here at night wouldn't be fun. Okay, now I think it's time to go check out the local shops to get a fair comparison of the shops in a more established suburb versus the shops in a newer suburb. Got a really nice mural here. That's something that was lacking in the new suburb. And the shops here are pretty good, like there's a decent variety. We've got a Woolworths, we've got an Aldi. Whereas in the new suburbs, you might be lucky to have a Woolworths. Some of them only have like an IGA. So that is one thing that the older suburbs have, at least here. The shops are generally a tier above. Now I wanted to go for a walk outside just to get a feeling of the local vibe. And just outside the shops isn't bad, but as you venture out a little bit further, you start to notice that things just aren't as well maintained as the new suburbs. Like this area in particular, I don't know, it's just a little bit sad looking.
So in summary, I think newer suburbs get a little bit too much hate. I mean, they have a lot of really nice things going for them. The playgrounds are really nice. The walking paths are really nice. It's generally very clean and well maintained. They just feel a little bit more lively. Like in the newer suburbs, there's just way more people out doing stuff, walking around, walking their dogs, that sort of thing. Some people might not like that. So I guess conversely, they're also a bit noisier, a bit more dense, a little bit more packed. Probably more traffic. People say that all the houses look the same, and I can see that, but to me the houses look nice. At least they're aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't really bother me if my house looks the same as someone else's that much. Now of course with the older suburbs you get more land, you're not as close to your neighbour. It's been, it's an established suburb, so there's this history to it if that matters to you. But generally, I just find them a little bit more run down, less maintained. Like there's graffiti and just paths are cracked. Feels just less nice in general. I was comparing like for like areas, I'm not comparing like low socioeconomics area to a nice new suburb. Like they're pretty equivalent, the areas I was looking at. So I don't know, in general, I just think they get a little bit too much hate. They get too much hate.